One, you go. Good afternoon and welcome to BizTech's Asian Midday Market Watch. Tina Teng, Markets Analyst, CMC Markets, APAC, and Canada, is our guest today. Now, welcome to the show, Tina.
Hello.
Now,
Hi. Right.
Tina, before we get your insights, let's take a look at how crypto markets are performing, and then we'll take a look at regional stock markets. We start with crypto markets. Bitcoin is at 41,015.9. It's up 4.84%. Ethereum is at 2,761.83. It's up 5.39%. Now, over to regional stock markets. We start with the SGX out in Singapore. That's at 3,321.34. It's up 0.92%. Now, across the region, in the KLSE in Malaysia is at 1,587.85. It's up 1.05%. Shanghai is at 3,255. It's up 2.66%. The ASX All Ordinaries is at 7,527.9. It's up 1.24%. The Nikkei is at 26,646. It's up 3.42%. The Hang Seng is at 21,311. It's up a whopping 6.1%. And rounding up the numbers, we've got the Kospi, which is at 2,707.77. It's up 1.79%. Now, Tina, this is a sea of green across the region. Please tell us why.
Basically, there are two reasons to push up the markets overnight. One is yesterday, after the Fed meeting, so the Fed decided to raise the interest by 25 basis points, which was in the expectation. So the U.S. stocks rebounded, just because the markets have already priced in for a big drop before, so the market rebounded on the fact. And they also, because the Feds, actually, they were not very aggressive at the guidance for the monetary policies in comparison with the previous estimated. They are more dovish than hawkish. So the growth stocks in the U.S. markets outperformed in the last 2 days. This was very encouraging for the stock market and other risky assets. And the second big news is from China. The Chinese government officials just indicate they would stabilize the financial markets as Chinese markets, Chinese shares have dropped in the last 2 days due to the lockdowns in China and also around the uncertainty over Ukraine and the Russia war. So this officials at government come out and saying so they would support the financial markets and work on it. So it's very encouraging news as well. The Chinese stocks has soared overnight, like the U.S. listed Chinese shares, especially like Alibaba, Baidu, or JD.com, also like over 30%. That's a very big move overnight. So everything right now looks very bright. Looks like people already looked past the uncertainty of the geopolitical unrest. That's why the stock markets are very, very strong right now.
All right, I'm gonna take you up on what you just said. I'm gonna show up a chart with all the Chinese stocks, and you can see a huge increase in the stocks. You know, Pinduoduo is as much as 56.06%, and the lowest of them is NetEase is at 25.69. Now, this is obviously a very huge rise, Tina, over a very short period of time. But Chinese stocks, obviously, through the year have been taking a beating so far. This is clawing back most of the losses that they've made in the last few months. Now, what's your view on the outlook moving forward for Chinese stocks?
So the outlook for the Chinese stocks are still uncertain. It's really sometimes it's because there are lots of policy risks here, and people are not really looking at the valuation of stocks now just because like last year to this year, and there are constant government regulatory crackdown on those tech stocks. So there are a lot of uncertainty. Yesterday's rebound was just really a policy pushed rebounding. So looking forward, I think that there might be a bottom here, but just because it's a lot of uncertainty still around, and you just need to be very cautious. If you see this as a like long-term bottom, so if you want to invest in those shares, still need to looking at what's happening around the world. If they are still ongoing, like Ukraine crisis and the monetary policies. But what I think those stocks in the investment point of view is very undervalued as well. It's just looking the big picture of the background, the backdrop. It might be good for the long term, but in the near term, there will be still uncertainty.
Now, Tina, you're based in New Zealand. New Zealand has just announced that it's opening up its borders to the rest of the world for travel. What does that mean for the New Zealand economy?
That's very positive news for New Zealand. So the government has brought forward time frame to reopen the border to international travelers. It's really positive news to the tourism and the airlines, which is a main industry in New Zealand to bring the income. However, it's a little bit late as well. So there's already things happening here like high inflation, price increase, housing price flaring, and also shortage of workers, shortage of immigration. So looking forward, like the rest of the year, we see the interest rate will go up, and inflation would continue to mount too. So we just hope from the second half year, the situation will become brighter. We'll still have very strong exports, which is good for the local currency. And also we are more peaceful because we're far away from the geopolitical tension. So in comparison with European and other Asian countries, we still taking the advantage here.
Now, Tina, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Now, we've been speaking to Tina Teng, markets analyst at CMC Markets, APAC and Canada on BizTech's Asian Midday Market Watch. I'm Brian Fernandez. Please check out this video and podcast on our website, www.biztech.asia, as well as our social media platforms. Please like and subscribe to our various platforms. Thanks again for tuning in.